Marilyn Pilkington. I live in North Rosedale, and I have a question for Bob Rae. Mr. Meridith's campaign literature indicates that his main commitment and reason for running is he thinks the Liberals are soft on crime and weak on leadership. Could you comment?
I just saw the leaflet tonight. I had not seen the leaflet before. If you haven't seen it, somebody perhaps could hold it up, because I think it's one of the most offensive things I've ever seen. I think it's, I think it's talk about free trade. This is a direct importation from the United States of Republican propaganda. It is a direct copy by the Conservative Party. The reverse takeover, the alliance and reform mentality has taken over the party. And anybody who calls himself a progressive conservative today should be ashamed of it. Bill Davis wouldn't endorse something like this. This is preposterous. The suggestion that somehow I, as a Liberal candidate, am soft on crime is, frankly, ludicrous. Everyone is opposed to crime. Everyone wants those who commit a crime to be punished. Everyone believes that we have to deal with it. But if I may borrow a phrase from Mr. Blair, the former Prime Minister of England, when he said, I think quite correctly, we have to be tough on crime, we also have to be tough on the causes of crime. And when we look at our constituency and see the tremendous challenges that face people, yes, we have to be tough on those people who commit violence, those people who steal, those people who abuse others. Of course we do. But don't let anyone dream or think for an instant that we can fill all the jails in Canada and build new ones and keep filling them, and that we will in fact solve the real problem in this country with respect to crime. It will not be dealt with only by punishment. It will only be dealt with by prevention as well. And I take great offense, Don. I want to tell you this. I don't usually get, this is not synthetic. I take great offense at the kind of cheap right-wing propaganda that you are spreading around this constituency, saying that I or my leader are soft or weak on crime. It is deeply offensive to me. It is not something I would ever do to you or do to your leader or do to you in an election campaign. You look at my literature, you will not see a note of denunciation of you or of your leader, and you will not see it because we are running a positive campaign on our ideas and what we stand for, and I think it's shameful that you put out this kind of literature on this question today.
Thank you. 60 seconds.
I anticipated this to be a very lively debate. And if you notice the quote on there, it was by a National Post reporter that indicated, Mr. Rae, I have buried young people in this city.
So have I.
I have presided, I've gone and comforted the families of individuals who have died in this city.
So have I.
While under the administration of the Liberal government.
Oh, that's rubbish.
While under the Liberal administration, we had homicides in the city in 2005. They had a gun summit here held at Toronto, University of Toronto. Out of that summit came nothing, no solutions. Our government have put forward a Bill C-2, which the Liberal government has constantly stalled, had to go to the House 3 or 4 times before it was sent in an omnibus bill called Bill C-2, which has been right now held by the Liberal-held Senate. This is about being tough on those individuals who are carrying guns, coming up into this constituency and robbing people and shooting individuals out of this riding. This is something. So, Mr. Rae, what is offensive is that your government did not do anything about all the tragic incidents that have taken place with gun violence right across Canada. And that's what is offensive. Thank you.
It's just terrible what you've done. You've shown your true colors. It's just awful what you've done. It's just awful. It is awful. It is just awful.
Bob had it right when he called the literature offensive. Oh, and boy, did Don take it to another level to try and score political points like that. I think that the literature that has been produced by the Conservative Party is, in addition to what Bob said, an indication that Stephen Harper appears to believe that voters are stupid. that they need things reduced to absolute simplistic black and white, soft, tough, taxes higher, lower. It's nonsense. It doesn't do a service to the democracy in this country. It doesn't do service to the level of debate. And that's what I find most offensive, is because our democratic institutions are so critical. We can disagree on all sorts of issues tonight, but if we don't have a strong democracy, we won't get the right things done. And so when politicians take actions that lower the level of discourse in this country, I was in question period 2 days ago, sitting in the visitors gallery. I've watched question period a lot on television. I've read a lot about it. I've written a lot about it. It is a whole other experience being there in person. My parents are here tonight. They tell a story that I don't really remember. They took me when I was a very young child to see question period, and I asked in earnest as I left, when's answer period? I meant it as an honest question. But yesterday, I mean, you wouldn't believe a question period where a prime minister will not shy away from calling the Liberal opposition, saying they have a passion for the Taliban because they're asking important questions about the nature of our mission in Afghanistan. And that's the sort of thing that just cannot be tolerated in our democracy. And I think we need to send that message very, very strongly.